Hi everybody. It's Laura Godwin here. I am so crazy excited about today and getting to hang out with all of you guys. This has been something that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. And I just feel really blessed and honored to be asked to chat with you today. I know what kind of amazing rock stars are in this group, and so the second that I was asked, I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck can I even talk about that they don't already have nailed down, are awesome at? What is it that I can share? And so just to let you know, I am stress sweating because I want to be a blessing to you guys. I want you to leave our talk tonight, our chat tonight with your cup full. And yeah, I have a lot to live up to. You guys are amazing. So I am just super honored and thrilled. I tell my family sometimes, hey, I get to talk to this group or that group, and they get super excited. And so right now, do me a favor and tell me where you are listening or watching from. So in the comments right now, drop your country or your province or wherever it is that you are watching and listening from. Drop that in the comments so that I get a feel for how many friends I have from across the lake, right? This is super excited. So super exciting. So I want to tell you a little bit about me, and then I'm going to find out a little bit more about you here in just a second. So hang on, tell me where you're from, and then I want to get to know you guys a little bit better. So while you're dropping that into the comments, I will tell you a little bit about me on a personal and professional level, just to give you a little bit of an idea of who the heck is talking to you. I will remember to talk slow because I get that there's probably a little bit of a language barrier. And so I am Laura Godwin. I am from Georgia, in the U.S. And if you know anything about the States, we are in the hot part of the U.S., closer to the Atlantic than the Pacific. So on the Atlantic side, on the East Coast-ish. Anyway, I am a retired. Scentsy helped me retire when I was in my late 20s. So I homeschool my little man. That was my goal. I'm a former teacher, and my goal was always, I want to teach my own kid. And so Luke is 15. When I joined Scentsy, he was 2. And so I homeschool. We are super involved in church. I teach classes in church. We're very heavily involved in our community, different mission work and outreach programs. So we're very, very involved in our community. We have Maple is my black mouth cur. I don't even know if you guys have black mouth cur dogs over there, but it's almost like a hunting dog, kind of a hound. Maple, you will probably get to see her before we're done tonight because she is going to want to come and say hi. She is like a big baby. And so I'm fur mom to Maple. My favorite hobby is to take naps. That's my favorite hobby. It's a really cheap hobby. Some of my friends have very expensive hobbies. I do not have an expensive hobby. My hobby is literally, if I have an extra hour, I want to just crawl in the bed with the covers over me and just take a nap. Bonus if it's raining, because I really love storms a lot. So anyway, I was able to retire my husband. I say man, there are so many people to credit with parts of my story that it feels not very authentic not to bring them in when I talk about these huge milestones that we've been able to accomplish as a family. But because of Scentsy, I also was able to retire my husband in, let's see, when was that? 2019 was his last day of work. And then we did something really big, and I opened a CrossFit gym. Do you guys have CrossFit there? I know you do, but I don't know how widespread it is in the UK. So I opened that in 2020. And we run that together, and it has been such a blessing. Our entire family gets to be part of that. My son's a golfer. He's been on a winning streak here lately, winning some PGA Tour tournaments, and he's 15, but he's actually scoring higher than even 18 and 19-year-olds. If you know anything about golf, that's a big deal because the older you get, normally the better you score because you're able to hit the ball further. And so we're really excited about him and his future. He loves golf, and that's what he wants to do for a living. Even though I told him anything with a ball should be his plan B, he thinks golfing is going to be his career. So anyway, that's a little bit about me on a personal level. I don't like to cook. Does anybody else not like to cook? Oh my gosh, I hate cooking, and I do not like the grocery store. So I try to get out of cooking any chance I get, but cleaning is my happy place. I love to clean. It's very therapeutic for me. Am I weird? Probably weird. All of you guys are probably laughing because you love to cook and hate to clean. That seems to be the norm, but not with me. And so anyway, that's just a little bit about me. Remember, I am asking you to tell me where you're watching from. I love to be able to tell my son later on, wow, I got to talk to people and make friends with people that live in wherever. And so I can't wait to find out where all of you guys are from. I hope that you are still putting that into the comments. I hope that you guys can hear me okay. So if you can give me a thumbs up right now or hit the heart button, let me know that you guys can hear me okay and that it is coming through loud and clear for you. All right, so I want to take a little bit of a break to talk about a little bit of my professional journey. And some of the things I'm going to share are only by God's grace and only because there are so many amazing people that have been in my corner. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So when I talk about some of these milestones that I've hit with scentsy, it has so much more to do with the networking and the relationships that I have created. And we're going to talk a lot about different things that I've been able to do because of the people that have been in my life. And so make no mistake that anything that I have accomplished has so much more to do with amazing people in my path. And so I joined scentsy in 2009. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because in the States in 2009, 2008, 2009 was a huge recession. One of the worst. I should have pulled some statistics, but I didn't. But a lot of people say it was one of the worst in like 30 years. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how it relates to where we are now as a company, as a consultant, and trying to wrap our minds around some of the things the challenges that we are currently being faced with as consultants. Okay, so I began scentsy as a kidnapper. Anybody else watching just want the kit? Did you join with the sole purpose of being able to just get your hands on that kit and you didn't really know what was going to be your future in scentsy? You didn't really know how you were going to be able to sustain or even if you'd be able to continue. My story is that I wanted the kit and I literally told my scentsy girl, my consultant, I was like, literally, I'm going to be kidnapped. I'm a kidnapper. I just want the kit. And I told her, I was like, I literally will only be with you for 3 months because back in 2009, that was that's how long we had before we had to place that minimum order. And so I was like, I'm only going to be around for 3 months. And so, and I also told her, I'm like, I'm never going to be one of those people that is paraded across the stage as being so amazing. And I'm never going to be in charge of women because women scare me. I told her this, like I kept that email because I really wanted to lay out the expectations and I needed her to know that I was an introvert and that I had done direct sales like a little bit before. And I had worked really hard at that company and I had bombed really bad. So bad that my financial advisor, CPA, I'm not sure what you guys call them in your neck of the woods, but my tax guy was like, Laura, direct sales is not for you. In fact, you're not even a seller at all. Like you need to stick with teaching. Teaching is your jam. selling things is not your future. Like, he was like, this is awful. And that was like, I want to say 6 months into me selling for this other company. It was terrible, you guys. I bombed so bad and I worked my butt off. Like, I'm a hard worker. I am bad at a lot of things, but hard work and doing hard things, I've never ran from that. And so I gave my all, but I bombed. And so when Scentsy came around, I wanted the kit, but I needed my consultant to know that I was never going to be one of those top tier people. In fact, when I began Scentsy, they had the Alaskan cruise, was my very first incentive trip. And I joined like towards the tail end of that, qualification period. And they would send me emails about, Laura, you just won the Alaskan cruise. And I'd be like, delete. And then they would be like, we need your passport, delete. I deleted everything because I thought it was a scam. And one day my director called me and she's like, Laura, she asked me something about the Alaskan cruise incentive trip. And I was like, I'm not going on a cruise. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've been deleting all those emails. And she's like, oh my gosh, you earned it. Like, you got the trip. And I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm not one of those people. I'm not a super seller. Like, I could not have. And she's like, it's done. You got to get on the ball, because the deadline to register was like whenever. And so I barely made it, you guys. I barely made it because I'd been deleting everything, thinking that it was a scam or something that only the best of the best could earn. No newbie, and especially not a newbie like Laura, would ever earn a trip that I did. And I've earned every annual incentive trip since. And that's 13 years worth, guys. 13 years of earning incentive trips, even though I started with the very small goal of just wanting the kit. Okay? I hit director 6 months into my Scentsy journey. So I started in February, hit director 6 months later, hit superstar director a year later. Guys, I hit the top of the compensation plan in a company that I had already leveled with my consultant, saying, I'm not going to be good at this. This is not going to be something that I excel at. I don't want to be in charge of women. They scare me. Like, I can't believe some of the things I told her, because what I didn't realize is that Scentsy was different. What I didn't realize is that Scentsy was going to allow me to grow into such a much more confident and much more like self-assured person that I didn't even know was waiting for me. I didn't even know that that was going to be in my future. If I had only known, I would have dreamed bigger from the start, you guys. I would have dreamed really big. I had no idea the culture of Scentsy. I had no idea that I would leave events a better mom, a better wife, a better friend, a better human. I thought events were just supposed to turn you into a super seller and a super recruiter. I had no idea that Scentsy events were intended to help me be a more well-rounded human. I grew in ways I can't even begin to tell you. Like, some things I have trophies for. On my shelf right across the room, I have my Shining Star, 2016 Shining Star. I mean, one of the biggest milestones in my entire Scentsy journey so far. Maybe it will always be. And yet, some of these things aren't as trackable as a certificate or a trophy. Some of the progress that I've made in Scentsy is only visible on the inside because I'm a happier human, because I'm a more well-rounded mom and wife and better friend, right? I'm more confident. I don't down myself so much, right? Those things might not have a plaque on the wall for, but they are truly valuable. And I think that if you've been in Scentsy anytime at all, you've probably been able to see yourself grow in ways that were not as trackable as a trophy or a plaque on the wall, right? And so don't ever undervalue those milestones in your Scentsy journey. Talk about those things just as much as you talk about the trackable incentives, right? Because they're just as important. Anyway, I just really hate talking about myself. So are you guys okay with me just jumping into the meat and potatoes of our chat tonight? I hope you are good. It is 3 something here, 3 in the afternoon. So, but I realize that it's nighttime there. So I'm going to say nighttime, and call it night because it is for you guys. So, right now, wherever you are, I hope that you dropped in where you are watching from. So wherever you are watching or listening from, put it in the comments. I love to get to know the people that I get to chat with. It is my favorite thing. So my next question for you is, I love to know who I'm talking to as it applies to how you are in your scentsy business. So I know where you're from now. I would love to know a little bit more about your scentsy journey. So if you were to say to me, Laura, I've been in scentsy for 3 years, or if you just want to put in what year you signed up, I'd love to know, am I talking to people that have been in for 3 months or 3 years, or maybe some of you guys have been around since scentsy launched in the UK. So drop in the comments now how long you've been doing this. So maybe you want to put it as a year, or maybe you want to put it in as a date. So tell me how long you've been in scentsy. I love that. So I am here to chat with you tonight about your mindset reset. No, that's not actually what Joanne asked me to talk about when she reached out to me. She wanted me to share some experiences with you, and I'm going to do that. She wanted me to chat with you about different ways that I have learned to navigate through the highs and the lows of not just my scentsy journey, but also the economy around us. See, what I have noticed is that those of us that started our scentsy journey back in 2008 and 2009, we haven't been thrown off too much by the recent happenings with coming out of COVID, things being locked down, finding the new normal. That phrase almost makes me cringe. You guys, I just can't hardly stand it. But here I am using it in a training because it is what we know. It's what we've heard. And what I am also finding, likewise, is those that have not been around scentsy quite as long, they're having a harder time navigating those highs and lows, right? They're having a little bit more difficulty managing expectations. I'm going to say that again. How you manage expectations of yourself, of your customers, of this entire experience says so much about you. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. I want you to know that you're all right. Scentsy is okay. Scentsy's great. You are great. Your customers are great. This opportunity is amazing. There isn't a problem with things around you. What may be the problem is your mindset. We're going to talk about that. Trust me on this. Listen to me. I am not the expert. I am not. But I want you to know that there are certain things that I have done, like tangible things that I'm going to talk about with you tonight, that I believe is going to be game changing. So I have a sheet of paper that I think I laid out, but I don't know that I did. Oh, look at me. I see my expectation of myself was higher than it should have been. So right now we're going to do a little checklist. Now I need your help because I'm not really sure what your doctor's offices look like over there. But here, every doctor's office, every chiropractor, every nurse's office, every clinic has a pain chart, okay? It has a wellness chart, pain chart, whatever. And I don't even know, I think it was last year sometime, it really hit me that maybe I should create one for my scentsy business, because as I mentored people, I realized that even though I looked at someone's numbers, just like I could look at your numbers, and I may think, wow, they're doing amazing, or look at them grow. They've really got a bright future. Even though that's what I might see when I'm looking at you or talking to you or even looking at your report, it doesn't really matter what Laura sees. It doesn't really matter what the report says. If you think that you're in pain, or you think you're failing, or you think that you're just going backwards or in a rut, or that's what matters. So when you go to the doctor asks you how you are feeling with a number chart of 1 through 5, because it doesn't really matter what the doctor sees. He needs to know how you feel. Okay? So right now, I'm going to play doctor and you're going to play patient. And we're going to talk about your scentsy business, okay? So on a number chart, 1 through 5, with number 1 being you feel like crap, you should be in a coma, you're terrible, your business is suffering, you don't want to do scentsy at all anymore. And 5 being you're the best you've ever felt in your scentsy business. Things are rocking on amazing. You're at the top of your game and you've never been more successful. That's 5. Where do you fall on the number chart? Is your business in a coma and and if I ever say anything that you don't quite understand, please tell me, because I realize that sometimes my husband's always saying, Laura, you just expect everyone to know exactly where your brain's going and you are miles before where everybody else is thinking. So if I ever say something, drop it in the comments that you need me to clarify. But where are you on that pain chart, on that chart, on that wellness chart? Let's call it a business health checklist. Where are you? Are you in a 1 business coma? Absolutely never been more worse off, not even sure that you want to continue? Or are you somewhere, a 2 might be, you're not in a coma, but you really don't have any mojo. You really don't have any desire to grow. You really feel lost. 3 might be, you're kind of neutral. Is apathetic the word, I think. You aren't excited about your scentsy journey, but you're not discouraged about it. You're just blah. 4 would be, you have a good mindset, you think things are going up, you're not there yet, you're not the best that you've ever been, but you feel like you are on that path. And then 5 would be what I've already said, you're the best of the best, you've never been better in your scentsy journey, you're thriving, feeling strong. Okay, so I see a lot of 2s and 3s. Do you guys see that too? Is it comforting? Is it comforting to know that you're not alone? Do you sometimes feel that maybe you are in a place where no one else has ever been before? Sometimes I feel like that too. Sometimes when I'm having a bad time in my marriage or a bad parenting day, 15-year-old boy's like, y'all pray for me. No, he's a good kid, but there are days that I go to bed at night and I think, wow, is it like this for everybody else, or am I just really awful? Like, am I just really a struggle bus in the parenting? And then in business, it's no different. There are times where I get blessed out by someone underneath me. And I think, wow, am I the only person that gets hate mail? Am I the only person that can't make people happy, right? Like, that happens to me. And that might happen to you too. Are you the only person that struggles finding team members, recruits, sponsors, people to sponsor? Or are you the only one that struggles to get events on the calendar? Like, what is it? What is it about your journey that really makes you feel like, oh, what's wrong with me? Well, go back and look at all those numbers. You're not alone. And if you get nothing else out of what we're chatting about today, I want you to know, honey, you are not alone. And no, you may not be a 1 today, or you may not be a 5 today, but as you ebb and flow in your business, and as you yourself personally go through seasons in your real life, health problems, marital problems, crazy economic problems, what have I not said, right? But any hurdle that gets thrown at you, honey, at any second, you could have something hit you right in the face that might take your business from a 5 to a 2. You need to have a game plan. And if it's not for you and you're always a 5, then I need to come and hang out with you, because I'm not always a 5. You're one of a kind. No, but listen, what I mean to say is that if you're always a 5 and you feel like you do not need training and you never, ever, ever waver, Great. Take notes for someone else that you can mentor, because not everybody is always a 5. And if you're always a 5 and you're like, I don't really need this training, I've always got things going great, good. You're going to be a team leader one day if you're not already, and they're going to need your help because they're not always going to be a 5. And they're going to look to you for different ideas that you can give them to help them through a bad time in their scentsy journey, right? Okay. So I want to take you back to when I started. When I started my scentsy journey, I didn't realize that it was the lowest of the low. In fact, you heard my story. I hit director in 6 months, superstar director a year later, top of the compensation plan, earned every incentive trip, bam, 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 bam. So when I started, even though it was for the people that had started 3 and 2 and even a year before me, they were like, this is the worst time ever. And I'm looking around like, don't know. Have no idea what it was like before, but everything's going great. You know, like I didn't know any different. Okay. And so it was sometimes hard for me to relate to everybody saying that numbers were so bad and this was happening. And I'm like, I have no idea. I mean, like I didn't know any different. And so I want to tell you some of these ideas might not be very new to you, but I want to tell you about some things that I did back then that I believe are the reason why my business doesn't fluctuate very much. I'm still getting $4, $5, $6, $7,000 every single in sales every single month. With COVID, without COVID, before COVID, in 2014, in 2012, in 2010, like why is my business not ever taken a nosedive? Well, maybe it's because I grew up in scentsy realizing how not to sink. And so today I'm going to teach you some ideas so that you can stay floating in your scentsy business. Now, some of these ideas are going to be things that I'm going to ask you not to put in place all in 1 week. In fact, think of it like a grocery store. You go to the grocery store, market, whatever you call it, and I hope you don't buy everything that you need for the whole month, because that would be like you would need a huge bus to carry all the groceries, and it would all go bad before you could eat it, right? If you went grocery shopping for the entire month, that wouldn't be very effective, would it? It would be terrible. Rotten things. It would be a waste of money, a waste of energy, time, effort, all the things, right? So tonight, I'm going to ask you to take notes. And at the end of the night, I want you to pick one new thing that you can apply in your scentsy business, because, honey, you're not going grocery shopping for the entire month. You're just finding one thing that you can chew on for tonight, right? One new meal for tonight. Promise? I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I don't want you to try to do 15 million things all at once. All right. And that is one way that you can stay consistent in your scentsy business and not burn out and not get super exhausted, is to pick one new thing to chase, one new thing to get good at, and then save the rest for a rainy day. Okay. So one thing that I want you to know is that consistency pays off. And in the early days, I realized that a lot of times when I felt crazy, burned out, it's because I wasn't balancing well. So I want to give you an idea that I use to this day and that I train my directors to use. I know that not all of you guys are directors. That's okay. I still want you to think about applying this in your business. So what if one day a week you had a razor sharp focus, mindset was only on a certain people group that you were going to work with? So what happens sometimes is I wake up and I'm like, oh, I need to reach out to these customers, and oh my gosh, I've got, 90 directors that need my attention. I need to make time for my directors, and oh, I'm out of samples. And I need to order more supplies. And by the way, I never returned that girl's email. She wants to know how to set up Scentsy Club. And if I'm not careful, I will absolutely unravel, because I feel like the to-do list is bigger than what I can manage. And so at some point, you've got to learn how to balance it all. And I believe that we are better leaders and we are better hostesses, and we are better at coaching hostesses when we have taken care of the foundational things first. So what if one day a week, all you focused on, razor sharp focus, was the back office things, getting organized, making samples, making sure you've ordered catalogs, bags, washi tape. Do you guys have washi tape there? I'm such a washi tape addict. Oh, I'm super obsessed. I have embarrassing amounts of washi tape. I love washi tape. Making sure that you get organized, making sure that you are labeling product, one day a week that you're handling all the behind the scenes things, okay? The things that make your business run. All right, maybe some personal development things. Maybe that's the day that you watch a new podcast or search out someone's YouTube channel or whatever it is that you do. However you ground yourself in Scentsy, you're getting yourself set up for your work week, okay? Because I do not believe that you can successfully do that well. I don't believe that we can be very fulfilled leaders or consultants if we have not made sure that we've gotten ourselves grounded. All right, so you got that going? So now that you've got that going, pick another day in the week, maybe the next day or maybe 2 days later, that you're going to focus nothing except customers, taking care of the customers you already have, because I am a huge proponent that you do not deserve, and I do not deserve new customers if I can't take care of the customers that I already have. And this goes across the board. You don't deserve a bigger team if you can't successfully fulfill the needs of the team that you already have. And I could go on and on, okay? So you need that one day out of the week that you can focus on taking care of the customers that you have, and then after you've front-loaded that day with taking care of what you already have, then you can work on avenues to help you get new customers, okay? So on that day, let's just say it's Wednesday. On Wednesday, all you're thinking about is customers. From the moment your feet hit the floor, you're customer-minded. You schedule your post out for your customers. You make sure that you are communicating and answering the emails or the text messages and somehow communicating well with your customers. That's the time that you also create ideas to help you get new customers, okay? And then guys, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I have learned something. On day 2 of my Scentsy work week, something magical happens. And when I'm serving others, and I've already taken a day to ground myself and make sure that I am where I need to be and my samples are up to date and things are like I need them to be mentally right. I've grounded myself with a YouTube training or something. And then I get to serve. I have no problem being passionate about Scentsy. I have no problem at all being excited about my Scentsy journey because I'm serving others. Here's an idea on how to serve your customers on this second day in your work week. There are how many letters in the alphabet? Who knows the answer? 26. How many days are in a typical month? 30 or 31. What if on the first day of the week, or the first day of the month, you were seeking out a lot of the A's in your customer base? Maybe even going to Facebook and typing in the letter A and then seeing 3 names pop up and go to their Facebook wall and comment. Because here's the problem. We want our customers to be so involved in what we've got going on. Why doesn't anybody like my post? Why can't I get anyone to order? Why doesn't anybody take me seriously? Why is my business failing? And then we look and see how little you do for others. And it's not fair. You want them to like and comment on your post, but you don't like and comment on their new house or their baby or their new car or their bad day or their. So if you want your customers to engage with you, then honey, you've got to switch your mindset to engaging with them, getting to know them. Do you know how many times I message a customer in my phone on A day or on C day? C day is the 3rd day of the month. Okay, I have something else to tell you too, but I have to keep my thoughts in order. Do you know how many times it's nothing about Scentsy? And it's like, honey, I saw that you were going on a 3-day migraine and I'm just checking on you. Are you okay? Has nothing to do with scentsy, nothing at all. But because I took time, my mindset resets in a beautiful way. It's not all about Laura and Laura's numbers. It's about serving humans. And I promise you, I can think I'm having a bad day until I start seeing what my customers are going through. Until I write out some kind of get well card with no scentsy sample, because honey, it's not all about that sale. It's sometimes all about just being a freaking good human. Just be a good human. You will never, ever, I've never in my scentsy journey ever not had the sales that I need. I've never struggled with sales, but I truly believe that it's because I'm not always worried about that freaking number. I'm worried about how I can serve someone. Okay, so remember there's 26 letters of the alphabet. There are some X's, and we don't have very many X people, but you can go in your phone as well and type in the letter X or whatever, and you know, it'll populate all of the people. You can even go into your workstation, to your contacts list, type in the letter that you're working on that day, and it will bring up the people. Or you can print out your report, all the A names, all the B names, all the C names, all the D names, on and on. Here's the fun thing about this system though. It is not going to have you working every day, because that's not healthy either. In fact, it's going to have you working maybe only like, I'm going to say maybe 24 days, 25 days out of the month. And that gives you your weekends off. Because there are some letters that don't have names beside them, and then there are other, you already have that built in 4 days of rest, okay? So that's a real quick idea on something that you could do on your customer day, okay? How you can interact and engage with your customers. I have some really good news. We're moving on. What should our third day be? Oh, I think it should be hosting events, PRV opportunities. That's what we'll call them. This is our PRV day. Now, I have a question for you, and will you promise to be honest? I feel like I have to talk so fast. I have so many things to tell you. So on my PRV day, this is a big day for me. I really want to, I've already made good contacts with my customers earlier that week. And so PRV day is my chance to be like, okay, so what am I going to do now to bring in the PRV? Now I have a question. If I told you, you remember I like to clean. Were you on at the very beginning of this? I love to clean. Cleaning is my happy place. It's very therapeutic for me. But what if I told you that I cleaned my whole house with toilet bowl cleaner? Ooh, like gel toilet bowl cleaner. How would you feel? What would you think? If I told you that I cleaned my entire house, I'm talking about windows, dishes, floors. What if I even dusted my vases and my pictures? I did all the cleaning, even laundry cleaning, with toilet bowl cleaner. Be honest, what would you think of me? Would you think I was a little off my rocker? Would you think, oh, poor girl, she doesn't know that there's a better way? What would you think of me? I think I know what you would think of me. You would think I was crazy. And you would feel really sad that nobody had told me that there was such thing as window cleaner and floor cleaner, and that I could use dish cleaner, and that there was laundry, stuff for the laundry, that I didn't have to use toilet bowl cleaner to clean my entire house. You would think I was odd. I love that, Julia. Yes, odd, weird, dumb. I would think I was dumb. Like, when she buys the toilet cleaner, does she not look on the aisle and see that there's other kind of cleaners too? Why does she ignore all the other cleaners? I have a question for you. Why do you try to get all of your PRV from one source? In my mind, that's like trying to clean your whole house with toilet cleaner. It doesn't make sense. It's odd. I have a training on my YouTube channel. I'm not going to repeat that training because you can watch it on your own time. But I have a training on my YouTube channel about how I sell over $5,000 in PRV every single month. And I literally, I'm sitting on my couch and I literally tell you, This amount of my PRV always comes from messenger parties. This amount of my PRV always comes from Scentsy Club. This amount of my PRV always comes from online PWS orders. This amount of my Scentsy PRV always comes from fundraisers. I have all my eggs in tons of baskets because I learned back in 2009 that I needed to be multi-purposed in order to make sure that my PRV was doing that. Because if all your eggs are in the fundraising basket, what the crap happens when the event coordinator says, we're not doing that fundraiser? What happens? You have a bad month? No, Laura's not going to have a bad month because Laura already knows that I have PRV sources coming in from a multitude of areas. Stop cleaning your whole house with toilet bowl cleaner. Likewise, stop relying on PRV from one or two sources. That's nuts. I believe that you should be trying to figure out 5 different sources of PRV every single month. Try to get good at different ways. You don't have to, and I need to tell you something else too. 10 years ago, I used to use cleaners that I don't use today because I found something that works better. You need to be willing to reinvent the wheel. No, that's not what I want to say. You need to be better at being adventurous and curious and something. I can't think of the right word, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I want you to find something on YouTube that you think, oh, I want to try this out. And then do it for like 3 months and do it well. And then figure out if it's worth keeping. Have I tried things that didn't work, weren't a fit for me? Yeah, I have. Have I tried things that really bombed? I have. Is my PRV strong as heck? Every single month. So I'll keep failing. I'll keep growing. I'll keep trying new things. Here's an idea for you to try. This or that. My customers love a this or that. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. I'm going to tell you about what this or that is, and then I'll give you some ideas for you to try on your customers later. You can do these with samples. That is really fun. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. But this is actually from, I do fundraisers like crazy. I am known as the fundraising queen here. I will do fundraisers for prom dresses, for braces for the kids' teeth. I just got finished wrapping up a new teacher, a girl that this is her first time teaching. It's her first year in the classroom. And that's a lot of stuff that they have to buy. And I did a fundraiser for her. Okay. And I'm helping her buy things for her classroom, and it's great. And I feel so happy inside, and she's feeling very happy. I do fundraisers for everything. Adoption fundraisers, people that have lost their home to fires. I do fundraisers for everything. I even did fundraiser for a lady's new bedroom suit because I saw on Facebook that she didn't like her bedroom suit. And I was like, honey, I've been hearing you whine about your bedroom suit for so long. How about we do a fundraiser and I write you a check for your brand new bedroom suit of your dreams? And she's like, you can do that? I'm like, we can do that. And she's like, I need to hear more about this. I'm like, it's a link. You just share the link and talk about what you love about Scentsy. You love Scentsy, tell people. And she was able to buy a brand new bedroom suit with what I paid her in a check from a fundraiser. Guys, I got new customers, and I also got shelves worth of free Scentsy. So here's how I did. Or here's what I do. When you get those fundraisers and you play hostess yourself, then you end up with free and half price things, right? What do you do with those free and half price things? Well, I hope you turn it into a this or that. And so what I do is I find maybe 5 to 7 things to put down on each side. And I make sure that the line is pretty comparable. So if it's a $3 item over here, I try to make it to where it's nearly a $3 item over here. And then I tell them to choose one item per line, or they can get it all for a different price. So choose one item per line for $30 or get it all for $55. And then I also say on the bottom, while supplies last. Now this is a personal special, but we already know that one-on-one communication works better anyway, right? So me sending this in a text message or dropping this in someone's bag is going to get a far better outcome than me blasting something on social media anyway. And this is a personal special, so it can't go on social media. All right? So in this situation, I had hand cream or a scent pack. They choose between. They circle which one they want. Fresh or tropical. That's all I wrote, fresh or tropical. And I made samples, fresh samples and tropical samples from discontinued wax. Dropped it, I wonder, oh, it's up there, but you can't see it. It's up there. If fundraisers scare you, Vicki, I have 2 trainings on my YouTube channel that I make it to where anybody can do fundraisers because I'm really simple and I'm really blonde. I'm a natural blonde and I didn't know how to do them either. And so if I taught myself how to do them, then you can learn from me because I promise I make it super easy. So I made fresh samples and tropical samples and I did not write what the name of the scent was. But then when they chose fresh on here, then I dropped the fresh one in. It was discontinued wax. Okay. Let's see. I put raspberry or mango. And this was a drink mix that I got from our dollar store, but I don't know what you guys have over there that's kind of like a dollar store. But I bought a raspberry box of drink mix, like little bitty packets, and I bought mango drink mix, little bitty packets. And if they picked raspberry, they got a raspberry drink mix. If they picked mango, they got a mango one. Then I said a pet line sample or a Scentsy fresh sample. See, those were very comparable. They cost me about the same amount to make. And what I learned from this is not everybody has a pet, or they might have a frog or a snake or some kind of reptile that they don't need a pet line sample for, right? So I learned my customers by putting this out there. Anyway, I think I'm missing some, but you get the point. You can also do this with samples, right? Have them choose their samples. People love to be in control. People love that, wow, she's got my back. She's letting me choose what I love best. They want to be part of that. They love that. And so give them a chance. Plus, you're offloading some things that you might have been hanging on to for too long anyway, right? So on your customer day, change it up. And always know hey, little Debbie, or hi, Sarah Lee. I'm reaching out to you because I have a deal up my sleeve. And they're like, oh, you do? And then they want to know more. I'm not reaching out to them saying, I have a quota to make, or I'm 2 customers away from earning an incentive trip. Nobody cares. No one cares. I'm sorry, they don't care. They, at their heart, really want to know what's in it for them. So tell them what's in it for them. I can earn an incentive trip doing it this way, and people actually want to hear from me. And I'm not saying that if you have in the past been one of those people that posted those flyers saying, I'm 2 people away from earning an incentive trip, or my director has challenged me to sell 6 room sprays before the end of the month. Oh, if you've done that, I love you, but I don't love those posts. And I really cringe because I don't want my customers to see those posts because that's not how I operate. I operate out of a heart of what's in it for them and how can I be a blessing to them. And I still love you, but honey, there's a better way because I'm going to sell circles around you my way. And I'm going to make people love to see Laura's name on their text inbox instead of how they feel about those kind of posts. So I'll get off my soapbox there. Oh, I have so many more ideas to share with you about the customer day, but we're going to stop there. And I want to end with my next day, and that is director day. So leader day. Maybe you say, Laura, I don't even have a team. Well, this is your day to start building a team. So you have already gotten yourself organized. You've already talked to your customers. You've already made a relationship with them. Then on your 3rd day, you got really good about hosting, you being a host, you learning new ways to get PRV. You are, your PRV day is your chance to just kind of like come up with ideas to make yourself get really strong PRV. And then guess what? Scentsy Club is one of those ideas, right? Oh, I don't have time to tell you all the fun things that I do. But anyway, your last day of your work week is all about recruiting, is all about sponsoring. It's all about trying to get people to do Scentsy with you, trying to make them Scentsy with you. And my tip for you on that is to use your team as your biggest recruiting tool. Do you know that I've signed people up underneath me that I know I get on their nerves? I know they can't stand the way I talk. I know that they get aggravated. I've heard people say they get aggravated at how positive I am. Seems kind of crazy to me that that would drive somebody insane, but it does. And I'm okay with that. But I still recruit like crazy. Why? Because even within my first sentence of talking to someone about being on my team, I'm selling my team to them. I'm saying, oh girl, you would fit in with our team so much. When someone gives me an example of why they can't be a scentsy consultant, oh, I work too much, I'm gonna be like, then you'd fit in, because there are so many people on our team that work massive real jobs outside their scentsy business. You're gonna love being on our team. When they give me an excuse about being pregnant, oh, I'm pregnant and I've got 10,000 kids at home and all I do is wipe butts and feed mouths, and I'm be like, girl, you're gonna fit in really good. We have lots of mamas on our team. Whenever they hit me with the, I can't do scentsy with you, because I hit them with the, you're gonna fit right in with our team. They may say, oh, I don't know that many people. And then I'll say, you're gonna fit in then, because most of the people on our team said that when they started. Do you get what I'm saying? A lot of times you're trying to recruit people and all you're doing is talking about yourself. Or you're not even asking people, because in the past you've heard that people use excuses that you can't help them with. Well, maybe you weren't supposed to help them with it. Maybe you weren't the one that was supposed to be their scentsy hero. Maybe they need to know about that team that around the clock pulls together on a team Facebook page, sharing ideas, answering questions, giving flyers, giving life hacks, coming together in times like tonight. Maybe you've not been very good at recruiting because you've been trying to sell the opportunity yourself, instead of telling them about the powerhouse team that surrounds you every single day. Maybe you need to let them know about your team. Maybe you need to talk to them about the perks of being on your team. Maybe that's the game-changing moment, when they realize that they're not going to be in business by themselves and that they're going to have more people than just you to mentor them. That's huge. Start using that. Okay, so we talked about a mindset reset. I want you to think about the last 5 people that you've talked to, sorry. The last 5 people that you've talked to. And I don't mean your husband. I don't mean your mom. I don't mean any family. The last non-family, the 5 people that you've talked to, non-family. And I want you to think not about what you talked about. I do not care what you talked about. I want you to think about how you felt leaving the conversation, hanging up the phone, driving away from the restaurant, leaving the bar. I don't know where you go and what you do and how you talk to people, but I want you to think about the last 5 non-family conversations that you had with someone. And I want you to think about your mindset when you left it, and that's how you rate that relationship. Is it pulling you up? Is it growing you? Or is it pulling you down? And every single week, I want you to ask yourself the same dang question. In fact, if you have the ability to set a alarm in your phone for Thursday at whatever time it is right now, every Thursday at whatever time it is right now, I hope you'll ask yourself the same question. Because see, you can't have a mindset reset if you're constantly surrounding yourself with the same people that got you in a bad place anyway. And sometimes they're not bad for you because they're bad people. They're just not helping you level up to your best, the best version of yourself that's waiting for you. I have had people in my past that were not bad people, but when I left the conversation, I literally felt heavy. Heavy. You aren't going to grow when you constantly surround yourself with people that leave you heavy. I'm going to go ahead and say this to you because I love you and I'm just your big sensey sister. You're not going to become a better version of yourself if you constantly surround yourself with people that leave you the same. I have people in my circle that I talk to that don't leave Laura the same. They make me want to level up. I'm not comfortable around them because they are good in areas that I am not, and I want to be better. They don't leave me the same. They make me want to grow. Think about those last 5 relationships and routinely ask yourself, is this helping me grow? Is this leaving me the same? Or is this leaving me heavy, weighing me down? You have to determine that. And this has nothing to do with scentsy. There may be people in your path that are weighing you down on a personal level. When I mentor people and I figure out that they're a 1 on that health chart that we just did, that business health chart, when I mentor people and they say they're a 1, I ask them, the next question is, honey, I hate to hear that. Is it only in your scentsy business that you're feeling a little down, a little discouraged, a little at wit's end? It never is. It never is just in their scentsy business. It's always in another area of their life. And even though I can't be the one, I don't have enough letters behind my name to be someone's therapist. I don't want to be. That I'm not qualified to be someone's therapist. There have been times where I've literally begged them to see someone that was qualified to help them, because I knew that they were in a place that they would never be great with scentsy because they weren't going to be okay with themselves. You have to make that determination. Last thing, I'm going to leave you with this. Oh my gosh, I have so many notes that I never even got to, but I want to be respectful of your time. This is the last thing. I was sitting on a beach 2 weeks ago. I do summer workshops for my group in different areas of my country, and this was before my first summer workshop in Florida. I was sitting on a beach waiting for my Airbnb to open up, and my husband was way out in the water, way out in the deep, and I saw him out there. He's a great swimmer, and sometimes he swims like to help him get ready for like a race or like things, right? And then other times he just swims for enjoyment. I saw him out there swimming, and I thought, wow, he's been out there for a really long time. And it hit me that not swimming is drowning too. I literally got this from Jesus right there on the beach. Not swimming is drowning too. And a lot of times we've shifted into neutral in areas of our business that is making us drown. And we literally can recover when we're just a little bit under the water. But the longer we choose not to swim, the deeper we sink. And some of you guys are way down. And you are going to have to start swimming. But I'm going to give some of you other guys some advice. Because not swimming has never been the problem in my business. Not swimming has never been the reason that I've failed or the reason that I have not done well. In fact, it's very opposite. The reason that I've struggled in my business has been because I have been swimming at a pace that wasn't healthy for me and wasn't healthy for anyone around me. In fact, I didn't know how to balance it all because I was so scentsy that I was working scentsy 7 days a week instead of the 4 that I just coached you on. Every conversation was scentsy instead of the balance that I needed. And so just like not swimming is drowning, so is trying to swim at a breakneck speed. I don't know what it's called, but it's a something meter swim, and you do it for time, and you go and you go and you go hard, and you are trying to win, and you have a maybe, I don't know, an 800 meter swim or 400 or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a swimmer apparently. But anyway, you're in a race and you go and you are trying to win. And that works very well for that day. But you couldn't keep that pace up for hours. You couldn't keep that pace up for days, weeks, or months. And so some of you guys need to be told, swim, you're sinking. You don't even realize it, but your business is like drowning. Some of you need to be told, do something. But then others of you need to be told, slow down, tread water. You'll stay afloat just by treading. You don't have to go so bat crazy. Like, tread water. It's okay not to treat everything like a race. Your husband, your kids, they deserve to talk about something other than scentsy. Okay? So I want you to find that treading water balance, because that is what will make you go 13 years with scentsy like this, or maybe even like this, right? That's what's going to make you survive and thrive and hit success at every level that you want to hit success at. It's learning how to tread water and not think that everything is a freaking race, but then also not thinking that you can take days and even weeks off of your scentsy business without having some kind of system in place. There's a balance. You're gonna drown if you treat everything like a race. Like if my husband was trying to do an 800 dash or whatever the thing's called, I don't know how to talk swimming talk, but if he was like in one of his races and he did that for hours and for days, I would lose my husband. He would drown. He cannot sustain that. But likewise, if he's not learning how to tread water, he's also going to drown. So where you find that balance is how you stay afloat and how you thrive in your scentsy business. That is where I am going to stop it. Thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to hear your success stories. Right now, I want you to think of one thing that I've said that you're going to start implementing. Don't think of everything. Make notes. But don't think you got to do everything that we talked about tonight. I mentioned to you that I wanted you to leave with one thing that you were going to start implementing in your business. Save the rest for later. We're grocery shopping for one meal at a time or one small bit of time. I want you to think about the one thing that you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and you're going to be like, this is what I'm doing today. And I want you to share that with an accountability partner, with a circle of 5, with someone in your world, okay? I'm rooting for you guys, and I cannot wait to hear your success stories. I love you guys. Bye.